Imagine this. You wake up to a normal day, same quiet street, same safe little town. But then a breaking alert flashes across your screen: a family of 4 found dead inside their home. A perfect family gone. And the shocking part, what happened inside that house wasn't an accident. It was something no one in the neighborhood ever saw coming. So the big question is, what really happened that night in Daphne, Alabama? And what dark truth was hiding behind those closed doors? Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the stranger this story becomes. Daphne, Alabama, a place most people describe as peaceful. Neighbors know each other. Families gather for barbecues. Kids play outside until the streetlights come on. It's the kind of place where people don't lock their doors because, why would they? Nothing bad ever happens here. At least, that's what everyone thought. But in August 2025, that illusion of safety shattered. Police rushed to a house on Sable Court. Inside, they found a scene that would haunt first responders forever. A mother, a father, and their 2 children all gone. Just like that, the story of the Smith family turned from a picture of joy to a nightmare overnight. Before we dive into what happened, let's talk about who they were. Kenneth Smith, people called him Kenny, 44 years old. His wife Larica, 41. They had 2 kids, 15-year-old Christian and 11-year-old Kinsley. From the outside, they looked like the definition of a happy family, church-going, smiling in photos. Friends say the kids were full of life, always polite, always active. Nothing about them screamed danger or darkness. And maybe that's what makes this story so hard to believe. If you enjoy learning about the hidden truths of crime stories, consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more content like this. And please comment below to let me know where you're listening from. It all started with a single phone call. Around 3:30 in the morning, police got what they call a welfare check request. Someone close to the family was worried. Something didn't feel right. When officers arrived, the neighborhood was silent. No lights, no sound. Just that eerie quiet you get in the middle of the night. But when they stepped inside the Smith home, what they found was beyond devastating. 4 lives gone, and almost immediately, whispers began. Was this a random act of violence? A break-in gone wrong? Or was the truth much closer to home? And here's the part that keeps everyone asking questions. Investigators believe this wasn't some stranger's doing. It wasn't a burglary. The answer to what happened that night was inside that house. But what could drive someone to destroy everything? What could twist a family's story of love into a headline about tragedy? That's what we're going to uncover. We'll break down what investigators discovered inside the home, and the one chilling detail that changed the direction of the entire case. By now, the viewer knows this wasn't an accident or random crime. The realization, the truth is inside the family. Who was responsible and why? When police stepped into that quiet home in Daphne, Alabama, they thought they were just checking on a family. But what they found inside stopped them cold. 4 lives lost, no signs of forced entry, and one single detail that told investigators this was no random break-in. So the question is, who could do something like this? And why would it happen in a house that looked so perfect from the outside? Imagine being one of those officers. It's the middle of the night. The house looks normal, a toy left on the floor, a family photo on the wall, but just steps away, tragedy. Inside the bedrooms, the bodies of the Smith family were found. Kenneth, his wife Larica, their teenage son Christian, and their little girl Kinsley. 4 people, 4 lives cut short. For officers, it wasn't just a crime scene. It was personal. Some of them had kids around the same age. Some lived just minutes away. It was the kind of scene you don't forget. Now here's what's important. Police quickly noticed there was no sign of a struggle. The doors weren't kicked in. Windows weren't broken. Nothing was stolen. That means whoever did this either lived in the house or was welcomed inside. And that fact alone sent a chill through the entire investigation. Because if it wasn't a stranger, then what really happened in those final hours? At first, neighbors thought maybe it was a robbery gone wrong. But detectives ruled that out fast. Every valuable item was still in place. Then came the darker possibility. Could it have been a murder-suicide? Could one member of the family have taken the lives of the others and then their own? It was a thought no one wanted to believe. How could something like that happen inside a home that looked so full of love? But as investigators dug deeper, the signs started pointing in one chilling direction. By sunrise, news of the tragedy spread across Daphne. Neighbors woke up to flashing police lights and yellow tape blocking off Sable Court. People were crying on sidewalks. Others just stood there in shock. One neighbor told reporters, "They were the last family you'd expect this from. Always smiling, always kind." At the kids' schools, counselors were brought in immediately. Teachers broke down in tears. Students couldn't believe that 2 of their classmates were gone forever. And yet, the biggest question remained unanswered. What pushed this family to the edge? Who was responsible for pulling the trigger that night? Detectives had their theory, and it was darker than anyone wanted to admit. We'll uncover what police revealed, and how investigators pieced together the chilling final moments inside the Smith home. Viewers learn it wasn't a burglary or random act, that the truth lies within the family itself. The suspense remains. Who did it and why? Detectives inside the Smith home knew one thing right away: this was no accident. The evidence was clear, but when they pieced it together, the truth was almost impossible to believe. Because the person responsible for ending 4 lives was someone who was supposed to protect them, someone who was supposed to love them most. After hours of combing through the house, investigators made a chilling discovery. The weapon was found inside the home, and the fingerprints. They pointed to none other than Kenneth O'Neill Smith Jr., the husband and father. That's when detectives announced their theory. Kenneth had taken the lives of his wife, his son, and his daughter before turning the gun on himself. It was an answer, yes, but it was also the hardest answer for the community to accept. How could a dad, the man of the house, do something so unthinkable? And this is where the questions get heavy. People wanted to know why. Neighbors said Kenneth seemed like a normal dad. He went to work, he smiled, he waved hello. There were no loud arguments, no signs of trouble. But detectives believe something was boiling beneath the surface. Maybe financial stress, maybe relationship struggles, maybe a battle with mental health that no one else could see. We may never know exactly what snapped that night, but what's clear is that something inside him broke, and when it did, his family paid the price. Here's what investigators think happened. In the middle of the night, while his family was asleep, Kenneth picked up the gun. First, he went to his wife, Larica, then to his children, Christian and Kinsley. Finally, he turned the weapon on himself. It's hard to even say those words out loud. It's the kind of crime that makes your stomach turn. But this is the harsh truth of what investigators uncovered. And it leaves us with one haunting thought. What were his last moments of clarity like? Did he hesitate? Did he know exactly what he was doing? Or was his mind so clouded that nothing made sense anymore? When police confirmed it was a murder-suicide, the entire city of Daphne fell into grief. The Smith family's church held vigils. Neighbors left flowers and candles outside the home. At the schools, students sat in silence, trying to process how 2 of their friends were just gone. The tragedy wasn't just inside that one house. It rippled through every street, every classroom, every corner of the community. But here's the part that still lingers. People want to know why. What signs were missed? What warning signals slipped through the cracks? Because if a family that looked this happy could fall apart in one night, then how many other families are silently struggling behind closed doors? In the final part, we'll look at the bigger picture, the lessons this tragedy leaves behind, the warning signs that too often get ignored, and what we can learn to make sure something like this never happens again. The mystery is answered. Kenneth was the one responsible, but the payoff leaves viewers with an unsettling truth. Sometimes the biggest dangers are the ones no one sees coming. By now, we know what happened inside that house in Daphne, Alabama. But here's the question that still hangs in the air. What do we do with a story this tragic? Do we just shake our heads and move on? Or is there something deeper we can take away, something that might save another family, another life before it's too late? In the days after the tragedy, the Smith home was surrounded by flowers, candles, and handwritten notes. Friends left teddy bears for the children. The local church opened its doors for prayer. People who barely knew the family came forward to grieve. Because when something like this happens, it doesn't just touch one household. It touches an entire community. And yet, behind all the tears and memorials, one painful thought kept repeating. Were there signs that everyone missed? Here's the truth. Many families look perfect from the outside. Smiling photos, polite hellos, normal routines. But behind closed doors, some people are fighting battles no one else can see. It could be financial stress, a broken marriage, silent depression, unspoken anger. And sometimes, when those pressures build up with no outlet, the results can be devastating. That's why tragedies like this should remind us of one thing. You never really know what someone is carrying inside, which makes it even more important to check on the people around us, friends, neighbors, even family. In Daphne, counselors stepped in to help students and teachers cope. The schools held moments of silence. Churches organized support groups. But healing isn't quick. For some kids, they lost classmates. For some parents, they lost neighbors. For the police who walked into that house, they'll carry those images for life. And for the families left behind, the pain doesn't just disappear. It stays. But the community's response, the hugs, the prayers, the shared tears, showed that even in the darkest moments, people can come together. So what can we take from this? What's the one thing this story leaves behind? It's simple but powerful. Never ignore the signs. If someone you know is pulling away, struggling, or showing anger they can't explain, don't look the other way. Reach out, ask questions, offer support. And if you are the one struggling, please know you don't have to carry it alone. Talk to someone, a friend, a counselor, a hotline, because sometimes a single conversation can change everything. The Smith family's story is heartbreaking. A mom, a dad, two beautiful kids gone too soon. But if their story teaches us anything, it's this. Behind every closed door, there's a story. And sometimes, reaching out with kindness with a simple question, "Are you okay?" might just be the thing that saves a life. So as we close this chapter, let's not just remember the tragedy. Let's remember the lesson. Because in a world where everyone seems fine on the outside, you never know whose life you might touch, just by showing that you care. The answer isn't just about what happened, it's about why it matters. The takeaway is clear. The hidden battles people face can destroy families, but awareness, compassion, and support can make all the difference.